Alright, this is a quick tutorial for you on how to use the Rithmic Trader order book brought to you by Daryl Martin at apexinvesting.com. To find out about how to get access to this order book, check out apexinvesting.com/funding. Also, to check out our website, go to apexinvesting.com/bootcamp for a free 30-day trial. Now, let's go ahead and click on over to the order book button. You'll see order book right here. And then we can type in the symbol. I suggest that if you're going to sim this, that you try it out with a micro. So such as MNQ, right now M0.CME. You have to type in the exchange there, and you have to use the letter symbol for the month. Now, you can also double click on here if you don't know what the symbol is. And let's say you type in MNQ. It'll bring up all the MNQ symbols that you want. So you could look for MNQ and then try to find the current symbol that you're looking for. So this shows you front month is MNQ right there. Okay? So that's how you can find symbols. You can also go down and look them up separately as well. But let's just, for test, we'll type in MNQ M0.CME. Again, I'm using a micro mainly because what I want you to see is the ability to test it while using because there's no sim account, so you can use a micro account while you're testing things out. You can then click here to click it. So I'm choosing one of my test accounts here, 320,000 in it. And then you can set your size. So if I want to set 1, and then I hit set default, and now that is my size. Okay, now some of the information isn't showing on here that could be showing, so I can right click and I can click add remove columns and show my bid count, my stop loss, and my ask count, and then I can click OK. What that'll do is it shows me total volume for the day that's been traded at that price. The ask count shows me how many traders have actually placing trades at that price. Like we have 4 here for, say 5 contracts. We have 4 here for 23 contracts. This is how many contracts are at the current price, the ask size. And then over here we have the bid size and then the number of people placing those bid orders right here. We can make our stop loss and our stop limit, and stop market larger just by dragging them, so that when we click in those areas, we're able to place trades. Now, one of the things that you may want to do is set up a DOM. Not a DOM, sorry. You may want to set up a bracket order. If you want to do that, you can go over here, and let's say we want to use brackets. We'll go in, we'll say configure, and we'll just call this 1, 9, 10, okay? Or 9, 17. We'll have it do both. We'll have it do target quantity, or target ticks, will be 9. Target quantity will be 1. Stop quantity will be... stop ticks will be 17. Stop quantity will be 1. And then we click save. And then we click close. Now we can go over here and we can choose whichever one we wanted. So like say the 1, 9, 17. And we can enable it. And then if I go over here to do, say, a stop limit buy order up here, then it'll actually place my entry, it'll place my take profit, and it'll place my stop all ready to go. Now, it won't trigger the take profit or stop until my entry has been triggered. Okay? If I want to cancel that order, I can do cancel and flatten, or I can right click on it and click the X, and it'll cancel everything for me at one time. So pretty simple as far as how to set up a order. You know, obviously you're going to do your stop markets on buys over here like that. If I place it down here, it'll do a sell for my stop market being below the market. Now, if I do a stop limit above the market to buy, if I do it below the market, it'll make it a sell. Okay, and I can cancel that. So it takes care of doing it for me at the right price, the way I want it. If for whatever reason I want to turn off the bracket, I can disable it, re-enable it. I can also go in, I can check out things like order defaults. You probably don't need to touch these, but there's, you know, at more advanced order types, like I have, you know, if touched market order, you can make it where you have to confirm the order if you want to. You can make trailing stops, like buy stops, trail buy, or sell stops, trail buy, if you want to do trailing stops right there. You can play with that. The centering, you can prevent the price from centering automatically if you want to, and then it'll just leave the thing exactly as it is, and you won't have the market moving up and down. You won't have your DOM moving up and down. Or you could say when the bid-ask midpoint is no longer visible, or this one says when the bid-ask midpoint is no longer in the center, the ladder will remove one price level per second. However, beginning at whatever time from, you know, center it every X seconds. So you can make it slow down how often it centers if you want to. So the nice thing is it doesn't just jump around like crazy like on a normal dynamic DOM. So you can just leave the settings as they are and they work really well. And it'll sort of automatically center itself. Let me scroll it down. I'm like scrolling up on my mouse wheel. You notice it'll climb itself back up right there. If I want it to, or I got to scroll down to get it. If I want to center it faster, when the bid-ask is no longer visible, the ladder moves one price level per second. When the bid-ask price is no longer visible, the ladder moves 2 price levels per second. And click that, and it'll basically just make it move a little bit faster. It's out of the screen now, I can't see it. So I just scroll down on my mouse wheel, or it'll automatically move it automatically for me because it's moving 2 price levels a second to get it back to the center. So that way it doesn't overly move your DOM on you, because that's what's really annoying is on a dynamic DOM, it'll move the whole price ladder up and down. This one will just move it a couple price levels a second if it gets out off-centered to get it back to where it's more centered for you. If you want to tear off the DOM, oh, let's see, we got other things. We got a legend if you want to know what, you know, the last price it was executed at. The blue is really important. That's your average open fill price. So the blue price is where you got filled at, okay? That's the one you're really, out of all the things on the legend, what you're going to care about. Okay? And then if you want to remove this from the screen, you can click here, and it'll become its own window that you can drag anywhere, and you can resize to whatever size you want. You can save this window. So if I just click save right there, it'll be part of it. You can save it with a name. I call it order book. And I could call it, you know, MNQ if I wanted to. Click save. and that just allows you to save settings that you've already done. If you want to have several order books, you can actually click the plus over here, and you could have several order books that you could flip between, or you could tear off several. Like if you want, but if you tear it off, that puts it right back in. That tears it back off. So, and then I can exit out if I want to close out of certain ones. I just use the X button over here. But if you want to have one for oil, one for gold, one for MNQ, one for NQ, one for ES, one for micro ES, you can do all that and have that available. You can go into the font, and let's say if it's a little too hard for you to read, you can change it and make it bigger. If you do make it bigger, then you're going to have to resize all your columns, and it's going to take a lot more room up. Now you're going to want it to be that big, but if you need it bigger, you can make it bigger. So let's go back down to a little more normal size. Then I can right click, and I can say set column width, and I'll say like 50. See, and that shrunk it down some, but anyways, you can shrink it, you can make it whatever size you want on everything you want. Since I know what size and aspect, I don't really worry about having them large. The biggest areas that I want to be able to easily click on are the areas where I'm going to place my orders under the stop market and stop limit section. So, and you can do different background colors and grid lines, and you can make it always on top, and whatever. You can export what's on there if you wanted to for whatever reason. I have no reason to do that myself, but it's there. And that is a basic walkthrough of how to use the Rithmic Trader DOM, available through apexinvesting.com/funding. And the coolest thing about this DOM is it's unlimited, so you can see as deep as the market goes. You can see all of the orders. There's like 200 orders sitting on MNQ way up there. And so that is a big edge against other traders that maybe only see 5, maybe 10 levels deep. You can see as deep as, like I said, the entire DOM goes. And we have other lessons that teach you how to read it. Check out our YouTube channel and our DOM section, and that will show you where to find more details about how to read the DOM. So we have a special playlist just for the DOM on that. Okay. Yeah, this is Daryl Martin at apexinvesting.com. Hopefully that made sense to you. And feel free to watch it again. And if you have any requests for other videos on the DOM, let me know.